Right. See, I wonder. Near Yahoo in the first few games from Enzo Maresca and his Chelsea, Arne Slot and his Liverpool, Hansi Dieter Fleck and his Barcelona team, is it enough? Is it what we are going to be seeing? Is it a story of the season, or there is going to be something else that we are going to be seeing in the course of the season as we are going on? But really, who has shown the most prospects that they'll be able to dominate the season in the various competitions in the season? Is it Chelsea? Is it Liverpool? Is it Arsenal? Or what have you? And of course, the big question around Josep Guardiola and in a rebuild at Manchester City, it has not gone according to plan as it stands now. We'll talk about that on Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube. Thank you very much for choosing. And sound subscribe to the channel now. Subscribe, turn on notification. In the notification turn, do choose all. Just so anytime that there is content, you are here first to have it on Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube. If you're an investor, then it's good news for you because in the description of the video, Charlie, the codes are there. Yesterday, boom. 2 days ago, boom. 3 days ago, boom. In fact, for 3 days ago, it was twice in a day, in the morning and in the evening. That's exactly what we do here. There are no fake odds. If you are in any of my groups and you hear that people come to you and they say that, oh, they'll give you fake odds, they'll give you fake codes, there's nothing like that. What we do is essentially with a team that is here, that sits down, analyze the games, and then bring the games to you. The best form of analysis. They use data and science. The last time in the Ecuador-Paraguay game, somebody asked me how I was able to know that the game was going to end in a draw. I replied the person that people use data in the wrong way these days. I try to use data. And essentially it's about data that myself and the team sat down to make sure that we will be able to use the data. And we found out that it was going to be a draw. And lo and behold, when we woke up in the morning, it was a draw. So of course, we'll go on. We'll give you some more. Go to the description of the video below. Pick up the codes and then go and stick and win some good money because every day people are winning money when it comes to how things are going to go on. See, first off, I think that it has been clear. Say Chelsea and Arsenal are going to give Arne Slot a run for his money. And I'm saying this because if you look at what Chelsea have done in the opening minutes of opening game of the season, opening matches of the season, 3 matches, that is what Chelsea have been able to play. And that is how Chelsea have been able to manage the season as it stands now. The games that they've been able to play. And we are shooting for just 30 minutes, Augustine. If you look at just the number of games I've been able to play, the quality of Chelsea Football Club. If you look at first, the game against Fulham, the game against Crystal Palace, that game was supposed to be a very difficult game. To be very honest with you. And I keep on saying this because there are certain games that are difficult to navigate. Several times I've said it. London derbies, people always underestimate the hugeness and the bigness of London derbies. You underestimate London derbies at your own peril. Who underestimates London derbies? You do it at your own peril. The first thing is that Chelsea have been able to navigate 3 London derbies unbeaten. The game against Crystal Palace, which was tough. Oliver Glasner making it difficult for everybody. In fact, Oliver has gone a lot of games in the Premier League and other competitions. He hasn't lost a single one. In fact, he had played in the Community Shield prior to that game against Liverpool and had managed to beat them on penalties, draw in regulation time, take them to penalties and beat them. So it tells you that there is quality in Oliver Glasner. There is quality in how the Crystal Palace team played. I said it. In that game against Crystal Palace at home, Chelsea lacked a few things, however. The angles of the left centre-back. And I think that that's something that Maresca probably shouldn't have tried. He should never have tried to have played Trevor Chalobah at left centre-back because Trevor Chalobah left centre-back does not work. Trevor at left centre-back, it does not work. You best be told you play the quality players, those who can play there. I understand that in that game, there was no Levi Cole, there was no Wesley Fofana. So it means that even Tosin Adrabia was absent. So it means that you have to play Joshua Champon. But Enzo Maresca could have played Marco Correa rather an LCB and let the invasion be gone on at the right-hand side, on the side of either Malo Gusto or Reece James for that to be done. But for Chelsea to be able to navigate that game well, I think that was top. I think that was Brilliant stuff from Chelsea Football Club in that regard to be able to navigate the next one. Then going against West Ham United. But who said Kofu Bibreka said West Ham enye team gidi bia is just another team. And I agree with them because West Ham are not on the best form. They are just a team that are struggling. They're trying to make ends meet. They're trying to put in a lot of effort and do things in their right way. But they are not the team that will give Chelsea a run for their money. But in the Premier League, you beat the team that is in front of you. When Maresca went to the London Olympic Stadium, after he had lost Levi Cole to the beginning of the season to an injury, long-term injury, and then lost Tosin Adrabiayu, another pro forward that could play like Levi Cole in the team, he went away to the London Olympic Stadium, and then you could clearly tell when Cole Palmer went down injured that Chelsea were going to have such a high time. But they had to change, they had to tweak, got the young guy Estevao Willian to come into the game, to come and really impose himself into the game, to come into the game and come and force the issue. And really, once Estevao Willian came on and pushed Joao Pedro into more or less like a false role of a sort, it really helped the team. It got the team to be able to deliver in that regard. That is why Chelsea were able to play that game and then get a proper dribbling, even in the absence of a branch here, Fred Cole Palmer. Something that is seen to be very, very important in everything that Chelsea are being able to do. Then the final one. I can understand that people keep on talking about how Fulham game, was a difficult game. Chelsea were given the advantage of a VAR review and stuff like that. I can agree. But after that, Chelsea had a penalty and got a job that was a clear-cut penalty. Chelsea had to score from a set piece from there. So you can't really take anything away from them. And what is going on is that the way Liverpool were conceding goals, Liverpool are they are stronger with Alexander Isak. You can't take anything away from them. But it is clear that in the Liverpool team, there are flaws to fix. And I've said it several times. The data is there for anybody to look at it. Arsenal and Chelsea will be Liverpool's probably most competitive contenders in the English Premier League seasons. Villa and Newcastle have struggled to maintain their 24-25 form, and that is true. Your starting season, Aston Villa, Newcastle, or before Mamadou last season, and did the same thing as this season. So we have to be a little bit careful. I said this season, the promoted clubs look like they are going to be difficult for teams to deal with. Burnley, Leeds, and even Sunderland. And Sunderland manager, you are nominating him as the manager of the month in the nominations. He's in there. And he tells you, say, these are teams that came from the championship. They have a lot of money at their disposal, and they come into the Premier League and they make it difficult for even the big boys now. And that is why it is very competitive in the English Premier League. And people say the most difficult league to play in. We'll talk about Maresca and to be able to compete going forward. And of course, the other teams, promoted clubs, Jack Grealish, Drewsby, all Osha Everton team now, it's exciting because of them. Also, Thomas Frank, Torian Mosper side now it's a much more dynamic side. They can play in different sides. Manchester United, big changes, but in the same problems. We'll see how things are going to go on El Hodom. And let's start with the Liverpool competition. I'll come back to what Chelsea pose as a threat to team my friend. I'm Liverpool for but let us just pose from the Liverpool point of view. See, Alexander Isak, Banawaba, Liverpool, they are always going to be a top team. You can't take anything away from them. Essentially, they are the team to beat in the league now. The quality at defense, Virgil van Dijk, Ibrahima Konate, Joe Gomez still said they've added Giovanni Leone to the team. Yes, Milos Kekes has not given us that performance that we saw at Bournemouth as it stands now. Florian Wirtz as a number 10 is not helping Liverpool win the ball back quicker. And of course, they've been very susceptible to a lot of counter-attacks and open play attacks and the likes. But then again, you know that when you have any team that has last season's top scorer and then this season and last season's second top scorer in their ranks, then it's always a difficult team for anybody to play against. And those are going to be the real big boys over there. 100% record. And that is also, a very, very important metric for Liverpool for to be able to get 100% record. And the best player last season, of course, Mohamed Salah is in the team. So on the surface, Liverpool are good, and I've said it several times. And even more so, Ode, Abrantia, your friend, Alexander Isak, and mind you, it took 88 minutes for the winner against Bournemouth. And then a 10 minutes plus stoppage time to get also that winner against Newcastle United. So everybody's talking about the stretched forms of Liverpool games. They've not been too convincing, and the data says that again against Arsenal, it was a certain Domenico Szoboszlai, blockbuster of a free kick that made a difference. And of course, made everybody knows, okay, you can't take Liverpool for granted in how they want to do their thing. So it was really, really huge. And per the stats, it looks as if, and I've said it several times to a lot of people, Macau over here with Fiifi-Manfred said, see, the role of Florian Wirtz was a Liverpool team. On the ball, he's a creative guy. Without the ball, it can really, really affect Liverpool, and they need to be a little bit careful. I've said it several times. Arne Slot is brilliant. So he tends to always find solutions for those things. To the extent that because he always wanted to accommodate Domenico Szoboszlai in the team, he has found a way to get Domenico Szoboszlai to play in a different position whilst offering that off-the-ball great and aggression and ball-winning ability for the team. And that's very important. Now look at the stats. Per 90 stats. And per 90 stats is always very important because it breaks it down to the games that they are playing, and it's much more detailed. 2024-2025 season, Liverpool following attackers of 16.9. 25-26, Liverpool following attackers of 13.3. 27 interceptions, only at 7.9 last season. This season, I reduced it to 3.7. So it has reduced drastically. The start of last season reduced from 16.9 to 13.3, almost 3.3. 3.6 thereabouts. And then the interceptions from 7.9 to 3.7, it has reduced by 4.2 over there. Fouls have reduced from 11.3 to 9.7. And the fouls essentially can also be interpreted as the amount of times you've been able to counter press and win the ball back. It's important, especially if it's in the final third over there. And that makes it a little bit difficult for Liverpool. And these are the underlying statistics. Now, this is where Chelsea and Arsenal come into the conversation. Now, we'll start also with Arsenal. I'll tell you more about Chelsea. Hold on for me. First off, Mikel Arteta. Yeah, Mikel has faced a lot of criticisms. And when you talk to a lot of Arsenal fans, they keep on telling you, say, every day you say Arsenal will do well. Although, why are Arsenal going to do well? When will Arsenal begin to do well? When will they be able to play and get to the level where we don't have to worry about some of these things and they still end up doing well? That is very, very important in terms of where we want Arsenal to go as a club. And that is true. But to be very honest with you, barring that Domenico Szoboszlai free kick, Arsenal were in a good place. They would have entered the break unbeaten. And it's been a tough start for Arsenal, to be very honest, because they went away to Old Trafford. It's not, talk about the form of Manchester United, but it's still not an easy place for any club in the English Premier League to just go in there and then go and deliver and get a job. It's not easy at all. They've also gone to Anfield. The only team they've played at home is a new team at home at the Emirates. And we all know about the attacking versatility when they are playing against mid-table sides. When they play against mid-table sides, until then, we can all see that Arsenal are effective on course and ready to challenge Liverpool. Chelsea are the likeliest to make a three-horse race, at least in the conclusion we can draw from Joao Pedro. And that is the thing. It looks as if Joao Pedro has injected a lot of belief into the Chelsea team. And to be very honest, because he has stepped up in almost every game that he has played for Chelsea since he came, especially since the Premier League started, they have been very crucial games. The first goal against West Ham United was from a set play. Ideally, you want your centre backs and stuff like that to get you goals from set plays. And Chelsea haven't scored so much from set plays. To be able to get such a goal from set play is very, very important for Chelsea Football Club. He scored the next one also against Fulham from a set play and assisted 2 times over there for Chelsea Football Club. So, it tells me and almost everybody that Joao Pedro adds a lot of quality to what Chelsea want to do. And he is important. His form is going to be very, very important for Chelsea. Very important for Chelsea. And he has scored 5 goals and provided a further 2 assists in 6 competitive games for Chelsea across the Premier League and, of course, the Club World Cup over there. The impressive still, he has at times successfully upgraded Nicholas Jackson in others and filled the injured in for Cole Palmer. Like I said, he has scored 2, assisted 2. He has created 3 chances in the Premier League. Big chances created 2. Touches 115. So it means that Asemana de Biedictarica Ebo Jackson, Abaso said Jackson can come, hold up play 10, build other players into play. It looks as if Joao Pedro is also able to do all of those things, and it helps the team to play for it. Because if you have a player that can give you all of these things, that can hold up play, that can turn around, that can play forward, it's very, very important for you, and it gives you a lot of quality in that regard. On the other hand, not much has changed because Enzo Maresca is playing in the same style, holding on to possession, inverting, playing forward, a lot of verticality our team, and that includes football that can appear a little too slow and a little bit structured. Had Fulham Ellis opener had not been incorrectly ruled out by VAR, Chelsea may well be feeling the loss of an optimistic week over there. Of course, that is a lot of people are saying about Chelsea and how the season have gone on in there. You can talk about a lot of things also. Thomas Frank and in the conversation, and all of these things that are going on with respect to Chelsea Football Club. All of these things are very, very important with respect to how you want the game to be played, how you want things to pan out, the conversation, the turnaround. All of these things are very, very important, especially in the Chelsea perspective. It looks as if Chelsea are going to give Tima Yefrenom Liverpool for a run for their money. It looks as if they are going to give Liverpool for a run for their money. And we'll see exactly how the season is going to go on the part of Chelsea Football Club and the Liverpool Forum, especially in the context of the English Premier League. Very, very important because we want to know how things are beginning to go. Mark Kukurea, after their game, again, he's still talking on Lamine Yamal and saying the Champions League. Champions League game is going to be in November. Chelsea a big Champions League game against team of friend Barcelona in November. And he spoke again about Abrante's friend Lamine Yamal. He says that he's the hardest winger to stop. So no there. He hasn't seen any winger who is better than Chelsea Football Club. The last time, we named some what's our story here. We heard that apparently there's a Saudi Pro League side called Al Qadesh. Or a deal of 70 million euros. 70 million euros went to Chelsea and then told Chelsea that they wanted Andre Santos. I remember this thing. When we started transfer window, a lot of people were sending me messages of, we hear that Chelsea want to sell Andre Santos. And I told you that, see, listen to the right people. There was no way Chelsea were going to sell Andre Santos to anybody because this is a player that they value. And I've said several times, Andre Santos is an important player to the Chelsea project. And they don't just sell. If anybody is going to be honest, they will tell you that Chelsea have been able to transform that team that they came to meet to a very, very competitive team while still being young. See, the Saudi people came, they gave Chelsea 70 million euros that they wanted to make sure that they get Andre Santos to their team. Chelsea told them no. They are not going to let Andre Santos leave Chelsea Football Club for any amount of money. In fact, Santos himself has come out after South Brazil game, and he has come to say it is true. The Saudi foreigner brought the offer to him, but he decided that he wasn't going to take the offer because for him, he wants to stay at Chelsea Football Club. He just looked at it and he didn't want to go to any club there apart from Chelsea Football Club. That's the only place where he wants to go and play his football. Besiktas, as we hear, say Chelsea foreigner ain't me and my brand here friend Axel de Sassi and still Chelsea Axel de Sassi, a brand friend David Datro Fofana and Raheem Sterling are still at Cobham, and they've not been able to go and play elsewhere. One of the things that's going on is that Axel de Sassi, in the last few days, a lot of the Turkish Super League clubs have come. In fact, as you know, in the Turkish Super League, it is still possible for them to sign players. So Besiktas have asked questions about Abrantia, your friend Axel de Sassi, and they are pursuing a move for him. What we hear is that they are willing to pay a good amount of money for Abrantia, your friend Axel de Sassi from Chelsea Football Club, and they want Chelsea defender as the window nears to a close on their side. We say at the side of Besiktas Forum, it's going to happen. Axel de Sassi, at some point in time, under Mauricio Pochettino was such an important player for him. But it looks as if Enzo Maresca sees that the time at Chelsea for Axel de Sassi is over, and he's not going to be able to use him again. So we'll see how things are going to look like. Very, very good team that Chelsea have been able to build. We'll see how things are going to go on. The statistics for Chelsea and Enzo Maresca since the season, the first 3 games of the season, Chelsea have conceded the joint first in terms of Premier League so far. The goals that have been conceded first. The least goals that have conceded joint first. Clean sheet joint first. Average possession joint first. Big chances created joint first. Goals scored second. XG generated second. Accurate passes second. Shots on target second. That is the quality of Enzo Maresca and in the rant, since the season has gone on since he started season. The first 3 games, Enzo, Maresca, and then the Chargers are beginning to do the right thing. They are beginning to do the right thing, which is very, very good for Chelsea football because they are in the right direction in terms of delivering. Moises Caicedo, MSA, Ecuador game against Paraguay, but he's back to be able to play in the next game that Chelsea, Ecuador are going to play over there. Darren Bent has been talking about the difference between Reece James and Trent Alexander-Arnold at right back, and Bent says I've have to go for Reece at right back. I really like him in terms of an all-round package. I know Trent's range of passing is better, but I think as an all-round fullback, technically Reece is as good as they are. His problem is fitness. Reece James's passing range is beautiful, and you saw his free kick for the England bank over there as well for him, and that's exactly what people are saying is a challenge. It has to be a brand TFN Reece James to go in to go and get a job done, and that's I've said actually. If you look at everything Chelsea are doing now, Chelsea for as it stands now, for me, they have the best fullback pair in the English Premier League. Left back, right back, I think that in that pair, Chelsea are absolutely the best in that regard, and that is very interesting. And everybody is talking about Chelsea's underlining numbers when it comes to what Chelsea have been able to do in recent times, in terms of the quality and how Chelsea are playing their football. And we'll see how things are going to go on over there for Chelsea Football Club. We'll delve deeper into the analysis. But first off, let's go on because there's some more news in other places. Here, the home come on. I was on Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube. It's a testament of an improved recruitment. The other sign is like Hato as well. We'll see how things are going to go, how things are going to go on from there. But let's go straight into the conversation. A football club, Barcelona. Didn't come on. How many minutes have we done? Of course, didn't come on. Football club Barcelona. Still, a brand here friend of Frankie de Jong in the game at Netherlands for boy, was very, very interesting in the Netherlands for a boy the last time. Frankie de Jong, as he here, in a little bit of a small hit on the night, and then there's Barcelona heavyweight to undergo test on Monday after returning injured from national team. So Barcelona have recorded a branch of friend Frankie de Jong, and also if case Frankie de Jong is truly injured for the long term, then it means that it's a big game coming up for our branch of friend Marc Casado. And I've said it, for me, he is as talented as any of the Barca DLPs. It's just that the experience and the quality of Frankie de Jong is just slightly higher than our branch of friend Marc Casado. And you expect that he can walk into the Barca team. He has played with Pedro before. He has played with Gavi before. If Gavi also is injured, a persistia, it means that Marc Casado will have a longer season to be able to play an influence game on our tournament. It's going to be a very, very interesting. We'll see how things are going to go on. Still, everybody knows my stand. When it comes to the Barcelona centre-back pair, I've said it. It is not Araujo Kubasi. It is Christensen Kubasi. Christensen is as physical as Araujo. He's a better ball player than Araujo. He reads the game better than Araujo. Maybe only aerial duels, but that I've never even seen a statistic. If I go and check, I'll not be surprised that Christensen is either very close to him or at par, or probably even edges him in that regard, because Andreas Christensen is a top centre-back. And I was surprised when Barca were trying to sell Andreas Christensen. Because why would you sell Christensen? As it stands now, Barca AD transfers in common, AD say contract extension in common, Frankie de Jong there, a lot of players. But still, you don't hear the name of Andreas Christensen. But in the game against Vallecano, everybody knows that apart from Juan Garcia, Andreas Christensen was brilliant. It was brilliant in everything that our football club Barcelona did, and that's why Hansi Vita Flick, if you're able to find the perfect pair, I want a centre-back area, and you're my age, the rating, Barca have done such a very, very good job in terms of players. Flick is concerned as Barca do a relief of national team duty and are out against Valencia. Barca players are out. We'll see how things are going to go on. Barca stays elite despite spending $27.5 million this summer. Deco's planning and La Masier's talent with the players like Lamine Yamal, Gavi, Kubasi, keep them going. And trust in the academy is key, of course. I think that's one of the best things that Barca have been able to do. The academy is very important. And I've always said that the management of Football Club Barcelona, the use of the academy and knowing that they are not in a good financial place and managing things has been very brilliant for them, and I think that you'd have to give them a lot of credit in that regard. So at Barca now, Alejandro Balde out injured with a hamstring injury, Gavi with a knee injury, Frankie de Jong with a glute discomfort, and of course Lamine Yamal back discomfort. But what we hear with Lamine, and he said we hear that he's fine after a few tests. Our Spanish national team, our branch friend Lamine Yamal, his test is fine with the back discomfort. Nana Unyano, he will be able to go on and play against Tima. Your friend Valencia, when Barcelona return, it's just in a couple of days because you bought these games now. Clubs maybe about Monday, Tuesday. By Wednesday, the players are returning, and then over the weekend, games are going to be in over there for Team Friend Football Club Barcelona. It's interesting. Kylian Mbappe 6 goals away from equaling Olivier Giroud's record, France all-time scorer, 57 goals, and that is just at age 26. Age 26, oh. Mbappe at age 26. Just a few games. So be you call it Abranti friend Olivier Giroud, France all-time record no kitano. It is going to be super interesting with Abranti, your friend Kylian Mbappe. He is such a top player. Again, you can't take anything away from him. In another game of France one boy against Ukraine, Abranti friend Aurélien Tchouameni was right there. The other Madrid players, Jude Bellingham more is on holiday because my branch here, your friend Xabi Alonso has given them some time off to go and rest in that regard. Mauricio Pochettino has been talking about a lot of things. Some be saying, will he coach Real Madrid? I say it's never too late if the joy is worth it. Barca, say he doesn't know. I would never coach. He says he will never coach Barca. Espanyol is a much more Catalan and independent club than Barcelona. Wow. Your man there, he has picked his poison. Say, Barca, do you like him? Mumpe Pochettino. Onyade. Charlie Barca fans say Mauricio Pochettino nyade. So they are not going to bring in a branch friend Mauricio Pochettino to come in and do the job. And he was asked about coaching Kylian Mbappe. And I say, yeah, when I coached Kylian at PSG, his eyes lit up for Madrid. It was always his dream to play for Madrid. And that's exactly what he's doing over here now. And we'll see how things are going to go. And now, Fabrizio Romano say Madrid do not have an agreement in place with Stuttgart for Angelo Stiller. German, number 6 now. Moko Germany. People talk about his football and also talk about his nose. Well, Madrid for need a 6. They need a tempo controller. And we are waiting to see if they will be able to bring him in. That stands now. Madrid for don't have an agreement in place for our brand friend Angelo Stella. We'll see how things are going to go on from there when it comes to our brand friend Angelo Stella. We'll see how things are going to go on. We'll have all of the conversation and we'll have all the analysis I see on Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube. Again, someone subscribe. And also, our brand friend Desiree Doué injury kakra. He was out of the French national team camp on the Sunday. It was very funny, but it looks as if some of the players now being prepare. The clubs will not be happy at this point in time. They are not tough when it comes to SAR games now. We'll see how things are going to go on. We'll see all the analysis on Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube. Again, someone subscribe, turn on notification. In the notification turn, make sure say you choose all. So now anytime there's content here, you are first to have it. We'll see how things are going to go. Let's draw the curtains down. We'll come back and have some good analysis. Thank you.